Well, hello, Sonder family. Happy Saturday and welcome to your weekly setup. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy and I get to be your facilitator this evening as we get ready to set up week 42, which means there's 10 weeks left of 2023. So we're gonna make it a great week. It's so good to see you. I saw Gail hopped on and said she was brand new. This is her first she's got her new journal and our first social. Are there any other first time attendees out there maybe sitting with this new journal wondering how it all works? Drop a me in the chat so we can give you a big welcome. And speaking of that chat, be sure that your chat says your name to everyone, because if it says host and panelist, only me and my fabulous co-facilitator, Bailey Grady, who's coming to us from Tennessee. There she's giving you a wave. We'll be the only ones who can see what you post in the chat if you see to hosts and panelists. And we want it to say everyone. If you have any questions along the way and I'm busy talking, Bailey's looking at that chat and she'll be able to answer that question or get you pointed in the right direction. Okay, Lisa's on, everyone. Yay, welcome. Well, it's really good to see you. I love the Saturday setups because it kind of also makes me check in with my undones for the week, what I had planned to do for the week. And it's like, I tell myself I've got one more day. So I always like this check-in when I sit very intentionally on a Saturday evening. I have fewer regrets because tomorrow I can do it tomorrow, right? But also coming in on a Saturday helps us sort of finish out our weekend very intentionally. And when we plan the week ahead, then we can know what we can make space for as other things come along. We can look at our journal and go, oh, I can't. I've already scheduled out my week and already packed that day. So it really helps you with those personal boundaries and all that good stuff that helps with our personal care, our mental health, and making sure we're taking good care of ourselves. So um, this week's or this month's theme, of course, is perseverance. And my friends, I shared this at the first weekly setup, and I keep looking at myself. I know my glasses are glaring, but I have I have my windows open because it's finally cool enough in Texas. We have cool breeze blowing, so I'm going to keep doing this, trying to get the glare off of my glasses. The first week we did perseverance. I was given a thank you gift, a cup of Dove chocolates. And this is my mantra for the month that goes along with perseverance. That chocolate wrapper said, "Don't stop until you're proud." And I loved that quote to pair with perseverance for me. It hit right. I'm going to keep it all month. So I wanted to share that with you. Don't stop until you're proud. I think that's a pretty good way to frame out perseverance. Now, during our time together this evening, we will be setting up that week 42, but we want to remind you to be kind and courteous. Tell yourself and others we ask for no spam. We do we respect everybody's privacy. You know, what happens in the Sonder community stays in the Sonder community. Of course, no hate speech or bullying. Any product, if you're interested in wanting to know, what stickers do you use or where do you get your washi tape or that kind of stuff, we try to limit those. If you want to do a deep dig, go drop that in Sonder Club and folks will respond there. Any customer care that you might need, we just want to always put you in the direction of hello@silkandsonder.com. And oh, Jenny, I love that you loved that quote. And then just a reminder that our time together, it's always this community. I say you're my accountability partners, like you're out there waiting for me to go walking. I'm going to show up here. And so this is a tool to help us elevate our health, and but we always want to be sure we're taking care of ourselves. So if anything ever hits wrong, because we're doing a deep dig into perseverance and you don't want to work on something, that's okay. Be sure to take care of yourself and give yourself space and permission to work on it when you're ready. All righty. So we're going to take a look at our agenda tonight. We're going to be working on that mind map. And so our new folks, we do a deep dig into the monthly theme through a different lens every week at these weekly setups. And I know that when we miss them, we get on that Sonder Club and we're like, okay, I couldn't go to a social setup. What was the weekly question? Because it really does help us kind of build that theme into our lives. We're going to do our rosebud thorn reflection over last week. We'll do our setup and then we will close. And so we have been looking at perseverance. We have 5 weekly setups. So that means we'll be looking at perseverance through 5 different lenses. And week 1 was, how can it help you flourish? That was kind of fun because last month's theme was flourish. So we were able to kind of meld those together. Last week's setup was, what does perseverance mean to you? And I've shared that quote, I'm going to do something till I'm proud. And then this week's question is, how does your belief about others play a role in perseverance? Now, if you're here for the first time, folks set this up in a lot of different ways. You can go to a notes page. You can use the scratch pad on your week to week. You can see how some of our Sonder family set theirs up. There's a house, a flower with 5 petals, one for each week. I love that superstar there with perseverance. And then, the light bulb, that mind map thinking. So there's not a right way or a wrong way. There's not a page in your journal designated as a mind map. So you get to pick how you use this. Here's mine. And I always say, when there's 5 weeks, you better believe I'm going to grab a credit card or my driver's license and I just trace those 5 weeks worth of little boxes there. And so this week, as I consider the question, I'll kind of share, the direction that I took. How do my beliefs about others play a role in perseverance? And I kind of just jotted some first thoughts that came to mind, and I've been kind of having them bop around in my head. And the way I approach this is, I said, I do hold others to high expectations. I always want the best. I want people to bring their best when they're near me. But I find that I easily give grace as needed. And then I put in parentheses, I'm much kinder to others than I am to myself. Something I'm still working on. And then another thing, remember, don't believe everything that you see online or the internet. And there's all this magic that's out there, and we don't see the messy in people's lives, right? We see the influencers that their house looks a certain way and their wardrobe is styled a certain way and their teeth are bright and shiny. And we don't see the real life. And so that's just kind of my belief in others. Remember, everybody's human, and I'm only seeing the good stuff a lot of times. I like the messy influencers who show everything. And then finally, one of my favorite quotes, and it's been brought back big time by Ted Lasso. It's by Walt Whitman, and he says, always be curious, not judgmental. And I popped that at the top of the slide there. To me, that is how my beliefs can play a role in perseverance. And when Bailey and I were kind of going over this prompt this evening, she pointed, I put, I don't know everybody's story. And that's important to remember as I kind of have this pursuance of people in my life and persevere with others. But also Bailey says, also there's a lot to be said about being curious and not judgmental inwardly, looking at ourselves. Why do I feel this way? What does this tell me I need right now? So I kind of love that. We can take it outward and look at others, but we can also bring that inward. So I have the 3 weeks worth of questions there in the middle on the right-hand side of the page if you need to grab those, and then some ideas for where you put your mind map if you're still figuring that out, or you're sitting with your new journal and you want to catch up. Grab a screenshot of this. Let me put on a song, and you guys dig into this one, and we'd love to know, like, what thoughts come to your mind when you think about what your beliefs say about uh others, and playing that role in that perseverance dig. I'll be back to check in just a moment. Great discussion in the chat this evening about, like, I'm not sure that this is hitting for me, and kind of thinking it out, and you guys are like lifting each other up, and kind of prompting, and sharing the direction that you're taking it. So I kind of like when sometimes the prompts may not hit initially, and you really have to dig in there and think about it. So, you don't have to answer them right now either. Sometimes it's good to just let that kind of go around in your head for a bit and then approach it. So, thank you for sharing with one another and taking a look at that this week's prompt for our mind map. Now let's reflect on this past week. And yes, we have one more day left. So you are welcome to wait until kind of we finish up this whole week in our journal to do our rosebud thorn reflection, which you'll find on page 44. But we just like to take a moment to take a look at the things that brought us joy, that were accomplishments, things that we're proud of. Those are our highlights of the week, the rows that happened. And then the buds of our week are those emerging opportunities. And sometimes you may sit and think, I don't really know that I have an emerging opportunity. And if I ever have those feelings, I just think I have a new week ahead, and that will be my bud. And then the thorns are exactly what they sound like. They're those challenges. Were you ill this week? Did you have a problem at work? Are there some struggles that are happening? Some things that are really pushing you to your limits? Those are those thorns, and it's just so cathartic to write these things down on paper and reflect over the week. And then when we get ready to look at our next month, it's really helpful way of framing out what do we want to take into the next month and what do we need to leave behind. And I'll just share mine really quickly. We have excellent fall weather right now. You guys know I've been griping about the heat in Texas, and finally I'm happy. But my husband and I spent a whole day at the state fair in Dallas, and we just had the best time. It just feels like fall is finally here for us. My bud is that I'm finding opportunities to serve the community that we're living in now. We've been here about 3.5 years. We moved during COVID. It's been a slow process to make it feel like home, and some opportunities have opened themselves up. And then my thorn was, this happens probably once a month. I have something about my insurance. We're private pay, health. It's terrible. We spend a lot of money for awful insurance and finding coverage and getting care and all that. And we had quite a week just trying to get some immunizations taken care of. Turns out if you're not under 18, you're out of luck with this plan. And we didn't think to add anyway. So it was a thorn. So take a moment, reflect on your week. I hope that your roses outshine the thorns that you're dealing with. But know that if there are some heavy things and you need to get them off your chest, we're here. Dump that in the chat and let us just embrace you and surround you virtually and remind you that you're not alone. You've got us. So let's work on this for a few minutes. Come back and check in with you in just a second. I'm really proud of you for working on this prompt and for sharing with us. And I know that there's probably a lot of unsaid thorns out there. And again, just a reminder that you do have this community, and we're here for you. We're offering support. We're sending that good stuff um, into the universe. And you're never alone in the Sonder family. You've always got folks who have your back. So I hope that roses get to be brought forward into your next week. There were lots of great buds. I love the bud of finding my floor. I finally found my floor. I need to find the desk, the top of my desk right here. It's very messy. So that might be one of the things I put on my to-do list this coming week. So I always like to share this slide of the many ways you can use your journal. And if this is your very first setup, it's helpful to take a screenshot or grab your camera phone and just take a quick little shot of that for things to consider as you start working in your journal. And those of us who've been doing this a long time will tell you that it takes a little bit of time. You start off using the pages as they are. And then when you find things like, I'm not really using this section, there are so many other ideas of how you can use the tool, right? And make it work for you. So don't ever let this become overwhelming to you. So let's dig into that week 42, and that's going to be on pages 46 and 47. And we always like to start off with, how do we want to feel for this week? I want you guys to think about the things that are going to be coming up in your life, your week. What does it look like? And we're going to just really lean into that feeling for the week. And I'd love for you to drop that in our chat. Like, how do you want to feel this week? And here's a ton of little examples of that space of how people use the space. Sometimes it's one word, but sometimes it's a quote. Perhaps you'll do a feeling for each day of the week. You can find a phrase that's going to get you through. Maybe that Dove chocolate, that perseverance, do it until you're proud. You could do, you want more of something and less of something this week. I'm seeing gentle. Oh, you're the top right. That's awesome. Thank you. These examples all come from you. So Maureen, thank you for taking time to post that in Sonder Club so we could grab that. Self-love, energetic. Oh, what? No, Natalie says she's going to release, like the trees are releasing those leaves. It's such a beautiful thing. I love that. Empowered, confident at work. Yes, you've got it, Kimberly. Oh, Carolyn just wants to feel autumn. I love it. I'm with you on that one. Feel better physically, Tina. I'm so sorry. We hold space for those of you who are having those health issues. Optimistic. Katrina wants to have faith this week. She wants to feel that. Lovingly aligned. So awesome words. Thank you for sharing and dropping in the chat. You guys inspire one another. You inspire me for what I'm going to do this week. Last week, I wanted to feel in control of my time because I wasn't using my time wisely. And I may need to push that forward because I have a lot of undones from the last week. I'm giving myself grace, but I thought I could get more done than I actually did. So now let's take a look at our goals. We'll just drop down right below those feelings and think about, how are your goals going to support those feelings? Now, it says weekly major 3 goals. You can have 1 goal. You can have 2 goals. You can have 3. You can have more than 3 if that's what life is throwing at you. So you get to pick. This is about what's working for you. Here's some hints, especially for those of you who are kind of new to setting up your week. Go back and take a look at those intentions on page 9. And I'll just remind all of you, check in with those intentions. We are like hitting the middle of the month. And that's always a good time to go back and check on those intentions. And I will check on that monthly habit tracker. And if something's not hitting, because I like to put the things I want to do most days in the monthly, if it's not hitting, I'll reframe that habit. I'll find a different habit. I'll look at why it's not working, and maybe I need to break that down and try a little something different. So now's a really good check-in time for those 2 pages, that mid-month check-in. We're looking at perseverance. Is there some goals that will be set around that? Anything outstanding that you need to bring forward, or are there some no goals that you need to set? Things that you're going to eliminate from your life. And then a lot of Sonder family likes to just do like 3 categories and hit a goal for 3 categories in their lives that kind of that they're embracing. So like mind, body, soul, left brain, right brain, no brain, something for work, something for community, something for home. You get the picture. So let's take a look at what some of our friends' pages look like. And so you can see someone wants to be achieved and happy, and their goals directly tie into that. They're going to eat well, and then they've kind of got the to-dos to that. How am I going to eat well? I'm going to stay active. How am I going to stay active? And they wrote those things down. You can very, very much simple 1-word goals: breathe, move, notice. Framed out: delete, delegate, delight. We'll just keep looking, and I'm going to go through all of these again so you can look at them as you're working on your spot. The one in the middle, upper middle there, calm, and then the major goals: find moments of calm, and there's 3 for work and 3 for home. Just being intentional about looking for those moments of calm. Great way to kind of embrace that feeling and making sure that you're noticing that you're, making it work for you that week. And then again, some more, there's 4 goals: read, write, move, work. So you take what you need from these pages. All righty. So mind, body, and spirit. And then we're going to slide over and look at those weekly to-dos. And then I'm going to put on some music so you can work on these 2 sections together. Now, we always like to bring in the Eisenhower matrix. Sonder family loves this. It's a great way to take those big, long to-do lists and kind of sort them out so that you are prioritizing correctly. I always say I tend to lean into the things that are easily accomplished instead of the things that need to happen. And if I plug them into a matrix like this, then I know what's important and what's urgent. And those are the things I need to really focus on. So we love this tool for those heavy duty to-do weeks. Again, here's how other folks take this section and break it down to work for them. It can be just a plain to-do list, but you can also break it down into sections just to make it work a little nicer for you. You can have your morning and evening routines. You can do your work and home to-do list. Again, look, we're seeing that flower again, but now it's our weekly to-dos. And then I love this example of the goals getting married in, or the to-dos getting married into those goals. So you can see the goal is be active. And then the to-do right over to the left of that says active. Treadmill, 6,000 plus steps a day. So the to-dos directly tie in to those goals for the week. And that's always nice. And then you can take this space and repurpose. It might be the quote that you're going to gravitate to for the week. Lots of bingo boards happen right here in this space. Perhaps look at that little one down at the bottom. You're going to have a to-be list. Think about your feeling for the week, how you want to feel. Maybe there's some extension of that you can put in there under the idea of how do I want to be this week. That little bingo board, I've left this up many weeks because it's just so beautiful. If you're an artist, this is a great fun way to frame that out. Now, I'm a to-do list girl. I leave my to-do list blank personally, and my to-dos go on my weekly spread, my Monday, my Tuesday, my Wednesday. And then anything else I do, I reward myself by writing it in the to-do list. I want credit for it, so I give myself credit for it. Let me put on music. Let me let you work on these two sections, our three major goals and our to-dos, and I'll come back and check on you in just a minute. All right, some discussion about, you know what? I'm going to take the undones from last week and do it now. And I counted mine up. I have 10 things on my to-do list that I didn't do last week, and then 2 half things. So I guess maybe 11 total. But I'll tell you, there's a couple of things that'll also work for me, Catherine. I'll set a timer, like I'm going to do this I'm going to set a 20-minute timer and boom. Kind of like the Pomodoro method, except it's just like a finite amount. And man, I will hustle if I'm working under that the bell going off, the alarm going off. So maybe that's something that could help you. Take a look at the Pomodoro method where you work and then take a quick break and you work. That's a great technique. But yeah, I'll start the timer. I love my cell phone. I have to start a timer for 20 minutes. But anyway, so we're gonna get it done. And you know what? If we don't get it done, we just put it on next week. It's okay. This is neutral stuff. Not getting it done doesn't, it's not a judgment thing. It's neutral. You didn't get it done, you'll get it done another time. It wasn't time to do it. So we're gonna have a great week. I can feel it. The fall is changing, those leaves are falling. We're gonna go in with the changes too. Yes, be productive, not busy. Make time for yourself. So now let's drop down to the habit and activity tracker for the week. And I'm going to be honest with you, my co-facilitator, Katie, I got to be her stage manager for a couple of weekly setups, and she found these two graphics that are just fun to add to your habit tracker. If you want to put something fun in the week, that one of these are speaking to you. I actually used a lot of this autumn bucket list in my bingo board. And then if you came to the coloring social, I issued a photo challenge. So I kind of bucket listed photo challenge that bingo board together. But these are a lot of fun things. I mean, can you imagine if you write in your habit and activity tracker this week, create my own magic? What a fun thing to track, right? So I'll put these back on so that you can take another look. This is what a lot of the Sonder families, different examples look like. I just sort of pulled them so you can see that. Number one, you don't have to fill in every space. You don't have to have 5 different things to track. You can track 1 or 2 things. Also, you don't have to track every day. And that's the nice thing about these weekly trackers. The monthly tracker tends to be the things we want to do every day in a month. We're going to sort of aim for that. And again, that's why I think it's important to check in mid-month, because if it's not working for you, it's time to change something up. But you can see that folks will circle days that they want certain things to happen during the week. These are very individual to the week we're having. Someone I think is just going to be traveling. Look at that top middle one. They've X'd out the weekend. So the habits are only going to happen during the first part of the week. So this is about figuring out what your personal week looks like and then setting this up to work for you. You can set a number of goals to have these things happen if you want, but you can also just track when it happens. And I'll be honest with you, mine have kind of been stagnant throughout the month. So I haven't really changed much up. That's okay, but every week you can make them all new. It's really, again, about what works for you. So let's take a few moments to set up our tracker for the week. Let us know the things that you'll be tracking. You may inspire a fellow Silicon Sonder friend. Okay, so Alice said, sometimes she forgets to go back and look at this. And so some suggestions are maybe put this in another place. Like, is there a page that you look at every day? Maybe you are tracking your daily affirmations somewhere, like the money tracker or the sleep tracker, or but put a note on those pages that you are using to point you in the direction of the pages that you're not. If that's something that you want to do, if you're like, I really want to use it, I just don't turn to that page. And I actually, the first habit tracker on my weekly habit tracker is always check in with monthly tracker, because I tend to not look at the monthly. So we find those hacks that work for our own lives and what'll be a reminder. So now we're going to just slide over to, as Katie says, the B side, page 40. Let's see, I'm looking at last week's 47, and we're going to just look at our meal plan, mind, body, health plan, shopping list, and the I am loving box. So this whole page. And a reminder that this page, a lot of folks will use it in a lot of different ways, because there's all these good spaces just waiting to be changed up. So again, use it as it is, or you can change it up to work for you. Here's an example of a couple of people's pages of what they look like when they're all set up. So you can see that they've changed the mind body health plan to the plant care for the week. And then the shopping list was changed from shopping list to intentions. And then there's just a fun quote on that other page's shopping list. So again, a reminder to make it work for you. So this meal plan has those beautiful, nice, chunky spaces that folks tend to maybe use or repurpose quite a bit, because it's just a nice layout. And if you don't do meal plan, maybe you're planning your one main meal, you might need a smaller space for that. So you can just move that somewhere, and then you've got this spot. So I've got a ton of examples to share with you from the Sonder family, just different ideas of using this space to work in your life with, maybe appointments, maybe homework. I always remind folks to take a look at those water droplets. If hydration is a goal, you can see how someone is color coding to see what kind of hydration is being taken in for the day. So you can color code your tea and your water and your lemonade or your sodas to track that. And then I also know that there's somebody who uses this as a rating system, and they'll do the daily affirmation. They'll write that in place, and then they kind of write on a scale of 1 to 8 how it's hitting for them. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. Again, lots of different examples, and lots of you, I know, use the 7 types of rest. And so really trying to embrace looking at what each of those looks like. So that's a great thing to put there. The mind body health plan. Again, I like to use this space. I call this kind of my egocentric space. This is truly about me. And it changes from week to week. When we were doing the 5 senses, the Gretchen Rubin's book about the 5 senses for several weeks, I just really leaned in and used this as a sense tracker to see the things that I was trying to be intentional about noticing throughout the day. So, you can use that as a tracker, but look at how folks are setting their mind body health plan up. If you play Wordle, you can track your Wordle there. Always enjoy looking at the feel and the need, kind of that, how am I feeling? And then what does it tell me I need? Being very intentional about that. A cleaning list. I mentioned the 7 types of rest. If you'll look on the bottom left, this person is embracing just the emotional rest, probably found out that they were lacking in emotional rest. And so they've made a list or a checklist this week of things they're going to do to embrace that emotional rest. Again, journal prompts. And then these are really great graphics that will help you think of some ways to maybe do your mind body health plan I've done the self-esteem journal that's on the right many times, and it's kind of a little mini daily reflection. Then we have that shopping list. It can be a shopping list, but it can also be repurposed in a number of ways. The things I've already spoken about. Lots of folks use this as a bingo space to kind of gamify their to-dos for the week, or some tasks and some treats. And, yes, hi, y'all are talking about the hygge. Yes, there, if you dig deep enough, there is a Silk and Sonder YouTube video on that hygge embrace. That's a fun thing to do this time of year, to lean in, and it's a great thing to put in that mind body health plan. So we've got the shopping list. And again, here's a not exhaustive, a ton of ways you can use this space. I always love this bottom left one, this idea of really checking in with the people that are in your life, the intentionality of, I'm going to check in with people, and here are the days I'm going to do it. And then symbols. I either called, or I texted, or I had a face to face. So I love that if you're feeling like you need to be a little more intentional with the folks in your life. And then finally, what are you loving this week? And mine is just, hello, soup and sweater weather is what's going in my I am loving space. So let me put on some music so you can dig into this page. I'll go back and forth between these slides. So if you saw something that caught your eye, you might want to grab it with a screenshot or your camera. And then I'll come in and check back in with you, and feel free to share in the chat. Yes, what you're loving, and also how you use these spaces to work for you, because you may inspire someone else who is trying to figure out what to do. We always joke that this is not a treadmill hour. It goes by so fast. But I hope you've been able to, you've carved out this time. I hope you're on a good pathway, segue to getting set up for a fabulous week next week. Here are those weekly spreads, and I always like to throw a couple of examples in so you can see how folks use this space for the Monday through Friday, kind of how you block it out and that kind of thing. I got some great ideas from you all this evening. I love that they're repurposing a shopping space for the washi tape scraps, right? Kind of that little bit of creative arts that's going on. I love that idea. But just fun ways of using the weekly spreads there. And finally, we encourage you to share your weekly planner in Sonder Club, especially those spaces that you might be using in a way that no one has thought of yet, because that's very inspirational to others. I would love to see the little washi tape scrapyard of all of it put together. And we got to show you these QR codes. These are the QR codes you've been seeing to refer a friend to Silk and Solder. They'll get $10 credit, and so will you. If you upgrade to an annual subscription, you will save $110 a year. And this might be a great thing to add to your Christmas list. We may be starting to work on those pretty soon. And then, of course, if you're not part of the Silk and Sonder community in our Sonder Club, please scan in that QR code now and join us. A great kind of extra space for us. There's so much going on there. There's games, there's daily rituals, there's daily affirmations. And most importantly, there's you. You guys are there supporting each other. This social is being recorded, and so will be put on the YouTube link, the private YouTube channel, and Bailey is sharing the link to that so you can access that. And that link is real important. You'll find almost 600 previously recorded socials at that YouTube link. So be sure to bookmark that. And then I had a request to go back and look at our mind map. So I will do that. Let me drop my playlist. This is my perseverance playlist for the month there. There it is. If Christine, if you would like to, if you're on I am on Spotify, and I'll just put on some music. Y'all have a fabulous week. Make it a good one, Summer family. Bailey and I love hanging out with you. We're proud of you. See you next time.
But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned